Your objects that you described yesterday were so good. I think I could guess what you were writing or what you had in your hand, but I can't wait because today we're going to write sentences and use our adjectives to describe our word. And Miss Sparks is going to see if she was right or not. But first, Miss Sparks has puffy Cheetos, and we have to describe them using adjectives. So remember, we could use our color, we can use our number. There are probably a lot of them, but we're just going to describe one of them. Sound. How do they sound when you eat them? Taste. I can think of a couple words. Texture. How does it feel? And size. So go ahead, say your word of how you would describe a puffy Cheeto to somebody. So you might have one or two words, so go ahead and say it out loud. All right, so some of you might have said, okay, let's start with color. They're orange, right? They're usually orange because it gets all over your fingers. Orange, and probably your grown-ups are like, you got orange Cheetos everywhere. I remember my mom saying that. Small. So I would say the size, they're small. They're not huge. I wish they had some huge Cheetos, but they don't. And the texture, what could we say about the texture? I think that they're kind of smooth, but they might be kind of rough at the same time. They're kind of in between. Ooh, taste. What word could we use to describe our Cheetos? Oh, I'm going to say cheesy. You guys might have said too. Or you might have said good or bad if you don't like them. What about sound? When you bite into a Cheeto, what does that sound like? Ooh, it's crunchy. It's loud, right? Those are so good. And then number, we already said that we're just having one of them. So nothing special about that. But there are a lot in a bag. All right. Yesterday, you helped me describe my highlighter. Just like you guys would have found something in your house and you described it using adjectives. So today, Miss Sparks is going to teach you how to write those words in sentences. So Miss Sparks, she almost said one sentence, but she's going to do two sentences because we're in quarter two and you guys are such great writers that you can do two sentences. And you should have enough adjectives to have them in two sentences because you don't want to, we could list them all out in one sentence, but we're going to separate them. So Miss Sparks she started already, but she wants to have it clean and ready to go. So what is the first letter of each word, first word in a sentence have to be? So Miss Sparks is going to write something. So this is my first word of my sentence. What's wrong with my what's wrong with my M? What's wrong with my M? Oh, y'all are yelling at me. Yes, you guys know it. It needs to be capitalized, Miss Sparks. Yes, it does. So and then I'm going to say highlighter. Is it really, I want to help y'all sound this one out. So that's our H sound. I said its name. Okay, there's this GH sound. And this GH in the beginning of a word, you hear it, it says G. Just like ghost is GH. Now in the middle of a word, and this is one of our secrets, right? So in the middle, you're not going to hear them. They go, shh, don't say it, don't say it. And then at the end of a word, if you see GH at the end of a word, it's going to make a f sound. It's those sneaky GHs. But just like, ooh, rough. Huh, look it up here, like rough. You hear that f sound. Oh, you can't see it. You see that f sound. All right, here we go. I digress. I went on to something else. Okay, so I, and here's that sneaky GH. Ooh, we know that sound. My highlighter is, I'm going to use my small and green. Small. So I had my small. So I've used my small and green. And remember my finger spacing so you can see all my different words are not going together. And green. Okay, what do I need at the end of my sentence? Yes, period. Here we go. So Miss Sparks on her board up here. So I've used green and small. So I've used those just so I already know that I've used them and I do not have to worry about them anymore. So my highlighter is small and green. instead of saying my highlighter is again, because that's kind of like, oh, that's like the same sentence. And we are super awesome writers, and I'm going to show you a different way you could say it. It. So I can replace my highlighter with it. It. Oh, and remember my I is capitalized because it's my first word in my sentence, my first letter. So it. I replace my highlighter with it, and yours can be it as well because it's an object. So it is. It is. Oh, and remember, so when you don't have any more room, you got to go over to the next line. It is circular, and feels. I'm going to talk about the texture of it. And feels, E, remember that two vowel goes a walking, the first one does the talking, feels smooth. Ooh, and then that TH. Oh, what do I need at the end of my sentence? Always and always. Yes, period. So my highlighter is small and green. Check. Ooh, I didn't check off my circular and my smooth. Circular and smooth. I have done all my adjectives. So let's start again. My highlighter is small and green. It is circular and feels smooth. So I put all my details in my sentences. I have two sentences because I have two periods, and they're complete sentences. They're not like the highlighter small and green. Is a verb, and we need it there. We have to have a noun, a person, place, or thing. In this case, it's a thing. And then our verb is small and green. Make sure what is in your head comes onto the page. And then it, remember we replace that with it, is circular. Remember, we use that as our adjective, and feels smooth. So those are my sentences that I used from my adjectives from my highlighter. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go into that. Miss Sparks is going to upload the same Jamboard that you used yesterday, and you're going to use those adjectives that you wrote and write two sentences. Two sentences. So two sentences together. So not just, I really want us to make sure that we're focusing on putting them together. So please I would love for you to use the text tool. If you want to write it out, that's okay, as long as Ms. Sparks can see and understand what you're writing. But let's not do Post-its. Let's not do Post-its because that really separates our sentences. I want to make sure that we're flowing them together. So use the text tool. All right, can't wait to see if my guesses on what you did was correct. I am sure it was.